Hello and welcome to another short conversation at the Good Branding Podcast. The subject for today's podcast is Brands Are Not Your Friends. This is a subject I always have fun talking about because it's so contrary to my function or my career, which is branding specialist. But that's the truth. Brands are not your friends. So when I say that, I mean brands have a responsibility. You have to be responsible for providing good quality services, good quality products, to be respectful to your community, to take the environment in consideration, sustainability. Those are just, in my opinion, basic standards for any business to start. Of course, we come from a culture where this hardly ever happens, but thankfully, more and more people are embarking in this journey of creating better brands, thinking of the world and thinking of people, thinking of nature, taking all of that into consideration and creating good products and good services. So, if that's your case, this channel is for you, and that's why we call it good branding. So, here we go. A few months ago, we were all living the situation of everything that happened after the death of George Floyd. And in that period, a lot of brands, actors, famous people, bloggers, politicians were showing their support, and ordinary people showing their support. The black squares got really famous, everybody was posting them. And then the conversation after that peak of moment, especially with the black squares, was what if you are an ally and if you are supportive of the movement, what is it that you are really doing to help? And that situation was especially critical towards brands, and as it should be. Brands were writing and talking about how they're supportive to the Black Lives Matter movement. And a lot of readers and consumers were confronting the brands, asking them, what have you actually done to support us? By us, I mean the Black Lives Matter movement and the Black community. The brands that I've seen confronted, they could not show that they had the community participating in high position jobs where they could influence decision making and the creative process. And this was just the beginning of a conversation the consumers and the community wanted to start to have with brands, but unfortunately, it was also the end because most of the brands didn't have a positive comeback. So that was the end of a conversation. It should be a very positive conversation where you actually show and you prove that your intentions are actually practical actions within your business. So if you want to get in that level of a, personal relationship with your consumers, you really have to observe if you are that type of brand and if you have, a past that can back that up. Why is this subject relevant, even to a smallest brand? The subject brings the conversation of brand systems. What are brand systems? Brand systems are how your company, your business, or your brand operates. Yes, we have your strategy, your business strategy. If you check on the list of everything you should do to develop a brand, those lists are full of strategies and how you should act and experience. But brand systems are what really makes your brand be real. It's what shows to the world that everything that you believe and everything that you stand for is alive in the day-to-day construction of your business. So, the idea is if you created this brand and most of you guys are listening are people that created this your brand coming from the idea that the world needs better brands, you need a better life. It's all about quality of life, about giving more quality to your community, to your family, to yourself, to the planet, creating more sustainable products, creating something that makes your category better, creating something that takes care of people's health. Each brand that it's created coming from you guys has a very, very good intention and this drive and this optimism of creating a different system for you and for the planet we live in. So what makes that story alive in your brand, it's not only bringing that story to how you communicate and how you create your products and how you talk about your products and you engage with your consumer, but also on how you live on a daily basis. So the exercise here is go back to your brand, understand if your community and the subjects of your community are part of your daily life. Do they become products? Do they become inspiration for new products? Do they become inspiration for new communication or for any type of evolution within your brand? Great. This is exactly what keeps your brand alive, relevant, connected, and this is basically a brand that it's bringing with it all the intentions you had on that first day when you started this brand. If you go back to your brand system, your brand's daily life, and you realize, well, we do a lot. We have all these good intentions. We are creating the best product we can. We're communicating. We are not discriminating. But no, I don't see in my brand system how the subjects that are happening in the world are directly impacting our life. Well, if that's not happening, what can happen to your brand and what will happen to your brand is that more and more your brand will become this very specialized brand and one type of consumer, which usually is the consumer that was loyal to your brand from the beginning, and will stop you from connecting to new consumers. This could be great for some time, but this is not going to be great forever. And I think if you analyze your business and you see that you are a little bit detached from what's happening to the world and you actually don't see how you can really connect that information to your daily life, well, I can tell you this is exciting times for you. I can give you a bunch of examples and I'll give you soon on how to operate that. But what I really want you to understand is that when you are really watching your community, people around you, everything that is happening to the world, because now the world is our community, right? And if you are able to feel the pain or the joy or to be empathic to everything that is happening, that is great power to you and to your brand. That is great source of inspiration and drive. This brings new life. This brings fresh air because you feel that, hey, when I bring that subject into my brand, it gives me new ways and new paths to go. And that is exciting. That is more opportunity, even to make money. But essentially, this is more opportunity for you to feel so connected to your brand, connected to your community. It's just a new romance. And maybe it's hard for you right now to imagine what the impact, let's say, let's give this example of this moment, really heavy moment with the Black Lives Matter movement in the United States and actually around the world. And you have your little brand. Your brand is really not, let's invent a brand. So we make this example more tangible. Let's say you make surfboards, sustainable surfboards made of bamboo using natural resins and waxes, and you have a little shop at a beach somewhere. You're watching all the Black Lives Matter movement, you're like, I don't really know how to bring that into my brand, and I don't really know how to serve that. My surfboards are useless, like surfboards and Black Lives Matter movement, there is nothing there. What you can do is, what is it that my brand as a surfboard brand is doing to be connected with my community, listening to my community, being really together, right? How is it that my brand has this social connection really alive? Well, you connect with your consumers on a daily basis, but are your consumers a good representation of all your community? Usually not. So what are the actions that you can take to connect even more with your community? Because if you are person that is connected to your community, you are a person that has put themselves or yourself in a place to listen, to understand, to have more empathy, and to work together. Your brand, the same thing. So as a surfboard shop, you can think, this is the exercise. How, as a brand, can I be more connected and more integrated with my community? First, I will give you an explanation why that should happen. It should happen because that's where you become relevant. That's because connection, love, empathy, respect, optimism, those are all things, love, those are all things that we're looking for in each other, in ourselves, in our community, in our systems, in our political system, even. Those are things that we need. And when your brand is able to show that it's actually acting on what it's preaching, you earn a different level of respect, a different level of empathy, a different level of engagement. And am I saying that so you can make money? No, that's not why. Money is a consequence of that. But when you connect, what it happens is that brings life to your business. You remember why you started this business. You remember why you believe so much in good brands and good products, right? In a way, going back to our example, as a shop owner or surfboard maker, what you can do to connect with your community could be, for example, you can teach surf classes in the weekend for the children who can't afford surfing classes. That would be a great way for you to connect with your community in a relevant way, providing experience, providing something relevant. You will connect with the children, you connect to the parents, and you will be aware of who can and who cannot participate in this type of activities in your community, and why they can and why they cannot, and what's missing and how can you help. This is an extremely relevant way of connecting and providing and being aware of your community, not only as a surfboard maker, but as part of that community, as one. So you bring your business to the level that you always dream your business would operate, right? That you're very connected socially, you're very connected with your community, you're very aware of what's happening, and you can be an active participant of that community, improving it, uh, providing new experiences, being a very, very important member of it. Your community will see you, and that's the beginning of it. It will see you as a human being, as a human brand, as a brand with positive intentions. And come on, can you imagine teaching that class, seeing those kids show up, seeing the parents watch the kids, being able to bring so much joy to your community or new experiences? This is gold, right? And isn't this why you started this business in the first place? So this is the exercise today, brand systems. Go back to your brands, analyze if you are connected to your community, if you're listening, and especially if you can create, if you don't have, create products or services or experiences that you can provide to your community. In all of the business, profits are really important, but in this business, when you started, it was love that really drove you, wasn't it? It was really making something that makes you happy, that drove you. And for us, there are people that have experience with good brands and good services. We know that that love goes a long way. Unfortunately, we can't say that for all the brands in the world, but I'm so happy I can say that to all of you. So, brand systems, check if they are still coherent to the beliefs that you had when you started your brand. If they are great, if you want them to be better, or if they aren't there, I'm here for you. Send me a message or an email. We can talk about it. We can analyze your business and we can brainstorm ideas on how to make you feel more alive and more integrated with your community. Okay? Have a great day. Bye. This was another short conversation about the good branding. If you want to get in contact with me, you can always access my website, thegoodbranding.com, or send me an email at luana@thegoodbranding.com. Hope to hear from you. Let's work together.